established herself as one of the most respected science fiction writers working today. Her work draws praise and distinction for its exploration of feminist and racial themes. In 1995, she became the recipient of the MacArthur Genius Grant. Her most recent book, Parables of the Talents, is currently nominated for the Nebula Award for Best Novel. I am pleased to have her here on this program at long last. Welcome. You said it's good that I brought both of them together because...
Well, together they are the autobiography of a fictional character who creates a new religion and sets humanity's feet on a different path. Singly, I'm not sure that comes across.
Why science fiction?
Because there are no closed doors, no walls. I mean, the only rule is if you use science, you should use it accurately. You can look at, examine, play with anything, absolutely anything.
Are you surprised that you became a writer?
Oh, no. No, I think I had one choice, well, two choices. I could become a writer or I could die really young.
And that
because there
good.
Wasn't anything else that I wanted.
So
I mean,
if you could not have been a writer, you would have said to the gods, take me now, because I have no reason to exist.
Done something stupid, and that's what would have happened.
What was it about writing for you?
Oh, you got to make your own worlds. You got to write yourself in. Whether you were a part of the greater society or not, you got to write yourself in. So I got to write myself in.
And you get to do it in the limited world, as you say, because there are no walls, there are no limits.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you treat subjects like race, sexual prejudice.
Sure.
All of that.
Mm-hmm.
You could put that in a context that has all...
I write about people and the different ways of being human. And you can't really do that unless you write about a lot of different kinds of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Has it been difficult for you?
It was horrible at first. I have a book called Kindred. It was my fourth published book at first. I have a book called Kindred. It was my fourth published book. And in Kindred, my character is a new writer. And she has lots of horror.
All jobs you knew.
All jobs I'd done. And, I mean, some that I didn't even put in because they were just so bad.
What's the best part of where you are now?
Well, I don't have to worry about how to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
I get to write the stories that I want to write and not worry that maybe they won't be accepted because they already have been. I can recall my best friend telling me back when I was working on my first novel that I really should change some things because they were perhaps going to have the wrong attention drawn to them. And thank goodness I paid no attention.
What's the day like now for you? You still get up and listen to NPR and all that?
I do.
That's good.
I don't get up as early as I once did. But
you don't?
No, not. I used to. Well, when I was working for other people, I would get up at 2.
Yeah.
And I would write until I had to go to work. And I would go to work grouchy because I was already tired.
Yeah.
And now I certainly don't have to do that. But there was an in-between time when I got up around 3 or 4. Just because I liked the early morning hours before the light changed. And now I get up probably between 5:30 and 6. And I get to write most of the day, unless I have to go out and do something. And I do that.
Is it a joy for you?
Oh, yeah.
Just writing is a joy.
Well, I get to read and write. You don't just sit there all day and punch away. But the reading stimulates my thinking in so many directions. That, yes, it's definitely a joy.
What did the MacArthur Genius Grant mean, other than money?
First off, they don't call it that. And if it really was that, they probably wouldn't have given it to me. But
what do they call it?
MacArthur Fellowship.
Fellowship?
Yeah.
Oh, the genius thing they don't say. They say fellowship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody made that up.
Some newspaper
person. I liked getting it. Of course I liked getting it. How stupid. Everybody would like getting it.
Yeah, of course.
But I especially liked 2 things. One, it gave me a chance to buy my first house.
Yeah.
I was going to do that anyway, but I couldn't have afforded one someplace where I would have been comfortable about living. I mean, I had already been burglarized several times in the rented digs that I was in. So I didn't really want to buy a house and have that happen over and over again. The other thing was, all of a sudden, people who had not paid any attention to my work because it was just that science fiction garbage, began to pay attention to it. And that means a great deal.
Are you trying to create a new black mythology?
No.
You're not?
No.
Someone read...
No, I'm telling stories that interest me. Well, I mean, one of the things that happens to your work once it's out there is that people bring things to it.
They try to define it.
Sure. Not only that, but sometimes what's important to them gets all mixed up in it. And one of the things that I tell people who are reading my work critically is that what they bring to it is at least as important to them as what I put into it. And that's true.
What then is central to what you want to say about race?
Do I want to say something central about race, aside from, hey, we're here?
Yeah, right, that's right. And we're going to be here.
Yeah.
We are here.
When I was just getting started, around 79, I guess it was, my books were just starting to do reasonably well. I was on a convention, a science fiction convention panel, and in order to start trouble, I hope, the guy next to me, science fiction panels are known for, start an argument and then you can, mix it up and something interesting might happen. But the guy next to me was an editor, and he said might happen. But the guy next to me was an editor, and he said he thought that it wasn't really necessary to have black characters in any racial statement you needed to make by way of extraterrestrials. And if he was trying to start trouble, he certainly succeeded.
You took it as trouble, didn't you?
Oh,
or you made trouble.
Well, I wound up writing an article about it, and about the idea of writing science fiction as though it were happening in your neighborhood.
Can you say that you enjoy writing science fiction because, in fact, you like to read science fiction?
That too, yes. Yes, I love reading it. I don't love reading it as much as I once did. I find that now I love reading nonfiction because it kind of turns into things. I listen. I learn better through listening than through reading, which is one of the reasons I read so slowly. I hear every word, and that way I can remember it.
I do too. Same thing.
I get books on tape.
Unabridged, thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Oh, heavens, yes. And also courses on tape. The teaching company or something like that has courses. And I brought one with me because I knew I was coming here, and it's just 4 little tapes,
Oh, good for you. So you're a little self-improvement thing there, aren't you?
No, I'm enjoying myself.
Okay, enjoying.
I mean, I don't mind if I improve.
Courses think of improvement. I mean, I think of courses, but you're saying
I see.
I know books is enjoyment. You could say enjoyment, but teaching these courses you take are it's about self-education.
Well, it's about yes, definitely. It's about sending my mind off someplace that it hasn't been before. It's possible that when I was in school, some teacher made me read Hegel, but I have no memory of it.
Yeah.
And one of the tapes discussed Hegel and his rather complex rendition of Might Makes Right. And I was having a wonderful time this morning, while I was getting ready to go out and do a radio interview, arguing with the tape. And that's the kind of thing that gets me going. So you were arguing
with Hegel?
I suppose so. Yeah. Doesn't bother me.
What is Parable of the Talents about?
It is the second half of my character's autobiography. She is a person who has a mission. She has a religion that she feels that she has discovered as opposed to created, and that she feels would make humanity a little bit more survivable if they paid attention to it. I felt that there are no societies that don't have religions, whether they're secular or whatever. They have something. And so I thought she would wind up using religion as a tool. She has this destiny in mind for humanity. The destiny of Earthseed, which is the name of her religion, is to take root among the stars. And whether you take that literally or figuratively, you're going to make yourself better. She takes it literally. And what she wants to do is kind of push people into going to the stars, settling away from Earth. Because she feels that this is such a long-term, difficult, expensive project, you know, the cathedral of its time. This is, for me, it was like what we did during the space race. Even though the space race wasn't so long-term, to me the space race was like having a nuclear war without having one.
How so?
Well, we were in direct competition with the Soviet Union. And
I'm sorry, the space race. Oh,
yes.
I don't mean the race. I misunderstood. No, I hear you. I agree with you. It was all about national pride.
Yes,
and it was all
exactly.
about those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And who's going to get to the moon first? And for a while it was just great sort of, you know.
I mean, it was in some ways it was
I'm
all
better than you are.
Yeah. In some ways it was all nonsense because we didn't have a follow-up. That's why probably that we haven't been back. But here my character is saying not only is it going to be advancing us technologically, but it's going to get us off Earth. It's going to give us some species insurance so that we're not just smooth dinosaurs who live here and die here and that's the end of that. She believes that if we focus on these, you know, this long-term, expensive, just energy-consuming, you know, family of projects, that it'll probably keep us from wiping each other out here on Earth. And in the end, we'll go someplace else.
Does this life that you have had and what you've achieved and the way where you came from make you optimistic about life? The fact that you have had the journey that you have had? Or does it make you optimistic about life? The fact that you have had the journey that you have had? Or does it make you pessimistic about life?
Than we have. Because there have been times when we have done better. Yeah. You know, I mentioned the space race. But I don't know that we will. I know that I want us to do better. I want us to focus on other things than, well, for instance, I've been complaining about the number of would-be leaders who seem to be willing to sacrifice half their country if they can just rule over the rest. I mean, we seem to have had, since the end of the Cold War, too many people like that.
Like, give me an example.
This man who was just recently killed in Sierra Leone.
Yes.
The man who is in charge of what's left of Yugoslavia.
Milosevic.
This kind of thing where if you don't know what else to do, you can at least start a war and grab something, or lose something, whichever. Even people like Saddam Hussein. I mean, Saddam Hussein, the man who was in charge of the what's now the Congo again. These are people who live in incredibly rich countries, but who can't really find any way in themselves to share the wealth with their people. I know that we can be better human beings than that, but it's so tempting, you know, to be greedy and to have power and keep it from other people.
Octavia E. Butler, you know her from Parable of the Sower and Kindred. This is Parable of the Talents. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.